Hi guys, welcome back to Colorado Living. I'm Nicole Baker. Today we're going to be talking about the biggest differences between living in Colorado and Arizona, my home state. If that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and keep on watching. But before we get started, I want to let you guys know I am a licensed realtor here in this beautiful state. So if relocating is something that's interesting to you, my number's popping up on the screen right here. I love hearing from you guys, but let's go ahead and get started in today's video. Okay guys, let's go ahead and get started into topic number one, which is going to be probably the most important thing to you if you're thinking about making the move from Phoenix over to Colorado. Just like me, weather. Weather is the number one thing that I hear from people from moving from hotter climates. So we'll go right into it and not waste any time. Let's go ahead and talk about the weather in Phoenix. So Phoenix is where I was born and raised, so I am very familiar with the type of temperature that you can experience there. It is very, very hot. If you like heat or feeling like you're essentially in a fire pit at all times, go ahead and move to Phoenix. You are going to be experiencing weather from 100 to 110 probably about 6 months out of the year, which is really what pushed me out at the end of the day to move to Colorado. I did not want to experience that kind of long-term heat anymore. Also, it is a very dry climate, so you rarely experience rain and it's not humid at all. So typically I would say, I think maybe this is a tough topic for a lot of people, but seasonal depression is very real. And I think that people that live in Arizona, at least for me, have the reverse seasonal depression, which is basically where instead of it raining all the time, it makes you sad. It never rained there and it honestly made me sad. It made me like I don't know, it just made me not want to go outside. And that obviously can get depressing. So if you enjoy any sort of array of weather, I don't know that Phoenix is going to be the right place for you because it is pretty much hot and semi-cold depending on where you're coming from. So you're going to experience it that 100 to 110 out of 6 months out of the year, and probably the rest of the year I wouldn't say you're going to be experiencing anything under maybe 40 degrees at the low, and then probably 75, 65, just depends on where you're located, but that is the typical temperature for the rest of the year. But that 6 months is very, very tough, and it is very hard because you cannot leave your house. The reverse, we'll go ahead and talk about Colorado. Colorado weather is completely opposite, I swear. You are going to experience an array of seasons, the true 4 seasons here, which I can't say that a lot of other states get to experience. So during that beginning time of the year, you're going to be in that winter season, and then you actually have snow. It actually doesn't snow here that much, and depending on where you are in Colorado, it could snow more, but a stat that I actually read not too long ago was it only snows about 14 days out of the year in Denver. So that was actually pretty shocking, but also not shocking because it really doesn't snow that much and it melts pretty much right away. Going into summer, it does get pretty warm here. You can still enjoy a lot of the community pools, which is nice, but you're looking probably, I would say 90 to 95. Sometimes you're gonna be in those 80s, but you get to enjoy a lot of rain, which I love rain because I didn't get to experience any of it growing up, but it will rain a lot here during the summer. Moving into fall, you're gonna start seeing the fall leaves change into like the red and yellows and orange, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And then I think I missed one. I think I missed spring. Spring is when the leaves start coming back, and it is another really beautiful season that I love. Probably fall would be my favorite, but that is what I love about Colorado, is just an array of different seasons. I can handle the heat for a short amount of time, but I cannot handle it for 6+ months out of the year. It's just not possible for me. So if you enjoy 4 seasons, I think that you would definitely enjoy the weather here in Colorado. let's go ahead and jump into the next section, which is going to be activities and the different types of activities that you can experience in each state. So let's go ahead and again start in Phoenix. So Phoenix, again, is very hot. So I don't want to downplay like the beauty of Phoenix, because there are a lot of beautiful things about it, but it is very hot, and unless you really enjoy swimming a lot, then it is almost impossible to do activities during the summer, or if you really like the heat, then you will love it there. But I didn't enjoy a lot of activities because I felt like I couldn't, because it was just so hot. I didn't want to step outside. So a lot of the things that you're doing during the summer are going to be indoor activities, which there aren't a lot unless you like playing board games or something like that, and I'm just not one of those people. So a lot of the times during the summer you will plan to go out at night. So if you like night activities, whether that be restaurants, bars, things to do with your kids, like maybe, I don't know, I don't have kids, so I guess I don't know exactly what you would do at night with your children, but maybe movie theaters or something along those, ice cream, things like that. But you're still gonna experience heat even at night. It does not cool down during the night much, but it cools down just a little bit where it makes it somewhat enjoyable to step outside. You're probably still gonna be in the 90s even at nighttime, even at 3 a.m. in the morning. Doesn't matter, it's still gonna be hot there, but at least you can enjoy a little bit. Then when you get into those winter seasons or just like the cooler seasons in Phoenix, oh, well, actually one thing I forgot to mention in the summer part, that we do have some water parks, so you could do water parks, but even like the plastic on the water park is so hot that it kind of burns your skin a little bit, but maybe going towards like the end of summer or beginning of summer would be really good for water parks. During the winter, we do have some amazing golf courses out there that are absolutely beautiful if you enjoy golfing. If you enjoy sports in general, there are some really good indoor soccer fields there too that you can enjoy even during the summertime. Things like that. You have the Raceway over there, Cardinal Stadium, Coyote Stadium, some big malls that you can really enjoy during those winter times. That is always fun to go to by yourself, friends, family, whatever. Going into Colorado is going to be the outdoor activities that you can enjoy. There are like endless arrays of outdoor activities that I never got to experience in Phoenix, whether that be going on the boat during the summer, river rafting, you can do paddleboarding, which I want to do really bad. I haven't had the opportunity to, but I've been saying every single time I go to the lake that I want to do that. I just haven't had like a chance to do it yet. But there's that, there's, you know, off-roading, you could head out to the mountains, like you are in some neighborhoods like Castle Rock or Littleton, you could be 30 minutes from being in the mountains. So if you enjoy off-roading and camping and things like that, those neighborhoods might be good for you if you like to do it a lot. You could be doing hiking, running, people are walking their dogs constantly, like anything that you can think of doing outdoors, that there's definitely a space for that here in Colorado in any sort of season. Another fun thing to do is going to be sports. Colorado is a huge sports city. We love going to any sort of sports events, whether that be actually at the stadium or hosting some sort of party outside of the stadium, like a tailgate or like a watch party. I've been to a couple watch parties. They're super fun. We love our sports. Another thing we love is our beer. I do not drink, but I hear that the beer is amazing. We are known for our breweries here. So if that's something that you're really interested in, there's some amazing breweries here that aren't like your typical Coors or Bud Light, of course. They're actual like indie kind of breweries. So if that's something that you're interested in, they will definitely have some options for you. And or if you're just a homebody like me, I love to stay inside, but I want to be able to look out my window and really see the beauty of where I live. So I like the pine trees, the squirrels, the deer, antelope, whatever it might be. I'm gonna actually pop up a picture for you guys of this mama deer that I saw with her 3 little babies. It was so cute, and that's the kind of thing that I would never see in Arizona. I always say in these videos, the most exciting thing I ever saw was like a cactus or maybe a roadrunner, but in Colorado you have so much more beauty, and I like being able to sit at my couch or even just go out on the porch and really enjoy the weather and the beauty that this state has to offer. next topic, we're gonna be talking about the cost of living, and one of the most important things that people are watching this video for, other than the weather. Cost of living is a big difference in Arizona versus Colorado. The average price point in Arizona right now is about $450 to $500, just depending on location. But I would say I am also a realtor in Arizona, and I primarily worked on the West Valley, which the price point is probably about $450. On the East Valley, it was probably, I mean, it was pushing like $800. It's really expensive on that side, which is like where Scottsdale is. So if you guys are familiar with anything about Arizona, you've probably heard of Scottsdale, and that's on that side. But so I would say on the low end, $450 to $500. And what you're looking at in Colorado, depending again where you're looking at, you're probably looking closer to $550. So I've seen houses at $500 up to, you know, $1 million plus, but probably $550 is a good medium starter home for a lot of people, and you could definitely find something in that price point, especially now with a little bit more inventory coming up and a little bit less competitiveness out there in the market. You will definitely have more of an opportunity now than ever to find something around that $550 price point. And then going into kind of gas prices and cost of living outside of that, I'm not a CPA, so I can't really give you guys too much tax information, but in regards to taxes, the state tax I believe is a little bit lower in Arizona versus Colorado, depending on what income bracket you are. But something nice about Colorado is there is a cap on the income bracket for the state taxes, and like I said, I'm not gonna go too much into detail about that because I'm not a CPA and I don't know anything about taxes really, but that's just something that I thought was cool whenever I moved here, being an independent contractor, owning my own business. The state taxes are very important to me, and I wanna pay as little bit of taxes as I possibly can. So if you are in a higher income bracket, Colorado is definitely a good place for when it comes to the state taxes. Another thing that we're gonna talk about is gas prices. There's not a huge difference in gas pricing. It really probably may be like 50 cents, just depending on the year. Obviously, gas prices are insane right now, and I hope, you know, they're slowly starting to come down, which is really, really nice. But I went there a couple weeks ago. It was probably $3.90, and it's about $3.73 here right now, depending on what gas station you go to. So that's really nice. It's a little bit cheaper on gas here in Colorado. And then when it comes to kind of those other little things like groceries, healthcare, and things like that, Arizona is just gonna be an overall cheaper place to live. That is no surprise. Colorado is very expensive to live in, but it's very well worth it. You know, people move here because of how beautiful it is, and you cannot get this kind of experience anywhere else. Versus Arizona, people really do move there because it is quite affordable. So if your budget allows you to live here, then you will be in good standings. The housing prices really aren't that different. Something also that just popped in my brain, sorry to be a little bit mixed up, but when it comes to housing prices, something I noticed being a realtor in both states is that the price per square foot is actually pretty much the same. Arizona has a lot smaller homes because they do not have basements. Here in Colorado, we actually, pretty much every single home is gonna have a basement, so that adds a little bit of square footage. A lot of builders nowadays are actually making it where homes here do not have basements, just so they can save a little bit and keep those housing prices a little bit lower for people, which is amazing. A very creative way to keep the pricing down. But the pricing is really the same, but in Arizona, an average home, like a good starter home, is probably 1,500 square feet. There's no way that you're gonna be able to find a house here in Colorado that's 1,500 square feet unless it's very old and like more of a, like a ranch style. But majority of homes here are gonna be 2 stories, not like with the basement. So like then, you know, essentially you have 3 stories. So something to keep in mind is maybe the housing isn't super big of a difference. $450 to $500, that's $100K. Yes, granted, you know, not everyone has or can put that into their budget, but you are getting a lot more bang for your buck, in my opinion, here in Colorado with the type of space that they offer in their housing. Okay, getting into the job opportunities that each state offers, something to keep in mind is these numbers are going to be really hard to dictate over time just because of the fact that a lot of people are working from home nowadays, and I don't understand how they would be able to calculate that whenever, say, your job is in New York, but you live in Colorado, or your job is in California, but you live in Phoenix, which this is really very, very common nowadays. So I think these numbers might be a little bit skewed, but you can definitely take it from me. There are tons of job opportunities and growth in both states. So whether you decide to move to Colorado or not, Phoenix would also be a great option. The differences in job growth and opportunity here in Colorado versus, we'll say, the United States average. The average over the last 10 years has been 6.3%, which is really great. And then in Denver specifically, it's been 24.1%. So over the national average, which is great, while Phoenix is at 22.6%. I think that something to keep in mind too is Denver is a lot more established than Phoenix is. Phoenix is very, very new overall, so there is a lot of job opportunity there. And with the prices of houses being a lot less expensive, there are tons of job opportunities there because a lot of companies are moving there to grow their businesses. Denver, on the other hand, is a little bit more expensive. We already know that based off of some of the other sections that we've gone into detail about. But I think that people want to live here, and a lot of companies are also wanting to move here, and big tech companies are moving here too. So it's just really, exploding the job opportunities that we have here, and the economical growth is extreme, and it's one of the best in the countries. So you guys can kind of take it from there whether or not that makes sense to you. But something that you should do is definitely go on to some of these websites that offer job opportunities like Indeed or so on and so forth, and see what kind of jobs are available before making the move. Or go ahead and see, request to see if they have any off-site or, work from home opportunities at your job that you're currently at, and or any locations here in Denver. And that can kind of help you dictate whether or not moving to Denver is the right choice for you. Okay, so hopefully today's video really helped you guys out, and I was able to give you information on the differences between Phoenix and Denver. I know that it is a tough decision to make, especially with the price differences in housing, but I can guarantee you, moving from Phoenix myself, I have never ever regretted the move here. It is the best decision I could have ever made for myself and my family. So if you are thinking about making that move too, my number is popping up on the screen. Feel free to reach out to me and I can help you guys get in the exact location that is perfect for you and your family. You do not want to move to the wrong place. So go ahead, reach out, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.